Hello.
Welcome back.
To the TAE Time Podcast. How's everyone? How's everything? You guys have been hopefully enjoying the content that's been being put out, and all the episodes have been out. But we were on a little holiday while all that stuff was there. I bet you never would have guessed. You never would have guessed.
It's like we never left.
Yeah, exactly. Consistency.
Exactly.
But so there's literally no point in asking us how we're doing because we're about to tell you what we've been doing. So yeah, in case you didn't know, we were out in Portugal. Went to 2 festivals. We went to Afronation and Rolling Loud.
God, look at us.
You know,
big spenders.
2 things, 9-day holiday. You know. Really, because you don't count the days you're flying, but 9-day holiday still, damn, it was good.
We were partying with Cardi.
But I'm sure everyone's gonna ask, Dublin airport wasn't that busy when we were going. So our flight was 6:25 on June 30th
a.m.
and we got to the airport like 3 a.m. So it wasn't that busy. It was like regular busy. And like it wasn't like all the crazy TikToks and videos you've been seeing all over about Dublin Airport wasn't that bad.
What day did we fly out again?
Thursday.
Does that matter? Are the weekends busier or are Fridays busier? Maybe.
Who knows? Like literally, like it's just been hectic here and there. Like so, but we flew.
I felt like the queues were moving. Like there wasn't any static waiting. We didn't wait much. We just kind of got to where we needed to be. I went past security quite fast. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't too bad, honestly. It was pretty calm. And then the flight, and we flew to Paris. And then and Paris was long. That line was long. That line was very long. And then, but we still made our flight, obviously. So it was calm. And then we flew from there to Faro. Then we got a taxi from Faro all the way to Portimao, which is where the 2 festivals were being held. Yeah. Which was like a 50-minute taxi, which was also long. It was just so long flying, the whole journey, everything. It was just long.
Yeah, I think the major issue was that there is no airport in Portimao. So then, like, the only way to get there is with, like, shuttle or bus or, like, whatever mode of transport you can find.
Yeah, from either Faro Airport or Lisbon Airport. Yeah.
It's so annoying. Like, I wish there was an airport closer by, but look, it is what it is.
I guess the other ones are like close enough for them to not justify having to have an airport or Faro, which makes sense, I guess. Yeah. It's like if it's like an hour drive, what's the point? It's not like we have, like for example, Kerry Airport and Dublin Airport are like 3.5 hours away from each other. Okay, makes sense, but like an hour, like what's the point?
Yeah, no, I suppose, and it makes sense, I guess. Our taxi driver was really nice when that dropped us off initially.
Oh yeah.
He was super nice. There were some issues with his system or something, and he felt like really bad because he accidentally cancelled.
Yeah, he cancelled our trip, and so we had to rebook the trip. Yeah. Again.
And then he just played Afrobeats the entire way, and it was just
that was nice.
Just such a vibe.
Yeah, the weather was good. It was like 25 degrees or 22 to 25 degrees, whatever, pretty consistently every day. Not a cloud in the sky, nice and blue. It's pretty good. Heat felt great. It felt great. And so we got to our apartment. I'm not gonna say the name of the apartment because
you can name and shame.
No, I'm not, because I'm gonna say shit about them, to be honest. But like, we got there, whatever. It took us. I think we had to wait, and like we were already past the time where you're allowed to check in. Yeah. But the room still wasn't ready. And then, so we went around, blah, blah, blah.
And their argument was that there was a 4-people room. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, even though it was just literally just 1 bedroom.
It doesn't matter.
And then a sofa bed, or whatever. Okay. And then we left, came back or whatever. And then the room, once you enter the room, there's this pungent smell. It's like kind of like this nasty fish smell. It was so disgusting. Like it like actually, like I felt like throwing up every time I was inside the room. It was so like you knew the room was not clean properly, consistently. And like I found the source of it. It's like this little weird like metal drain thing right beside the toilet. It will just thinking about it makes me sick.
And do you know what? It had like bits of like green mold around
and the other. Oh god, I actually feel sick thinking about it. Like that's how bad it was. And I like usually I can stomach stuff, but that, oh my god, it was so bad. It was terrible. I hated every second of being in that apartment, to be honest. Like Thank God all we were doing was just sleeping in that apartment because, oh my God, I hated every second of being in that apartment, honestly.
I mean, we definitely avoided it at all costs. So I'd say we definitely just used it for sleeping and try to stay awake as much as, like, possible. Like, another issue that we had in there was there was ants everywhere.
Yeah, but I feel like ants is just typical, like, in places like that, honestly.
I don't think it should be. Like, if you're staying in this place, you do not want an ant infestation.
I don't know, like, if you went back home to Romania, you'd have ants.
No, not in a hotel.
During the summer, like.
No, and no, you wouldn't. In most homes, you wouldn't.
Really?
In the home that I grew up in, you would. But, I mean, the house was falling apart as it was.
I'd have ants back in Nigeria, to be honest.
Okay, like in hotels and stuff.
I don't know. Ants are a very invasive species.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't know.
But definitely that place was disgusting.
There's a
everything
lot
was
to it,
sticky.
Like, everything
was
sticky.
Every single thing in that apartment was sticky. I was like, oh.
Yeah, like their saving grace was that they gave us a brand new sponge and washing up liquid, so I was able to wash the cups. And then the like spoon, whatever I used to stir, didn't eat it with anything or like didn't use any of the plates, but we used the cups, so it's just everything was just so sticky and gross.
It was pretty disgusting. Everything was disgusting, not gonna lie. And but the apartment was big. It had a nice big balcony and stuff, you know.
That was nice.
Like if it was clean, it would have been grand. If it was clean, it would have been grand. But the fact that it wasn't clean, I don't think like I'm like some fucking like, whoa, I need it to be clean, but no. If it was clean, it was just like so bad, like you know?
I'm gonna admit it. Like I bought cleaning products and I ended up cleaning the bathroom after like a couple of days. It just got revolting to even step foot in there anymore. Like it was just like I can't do this anymore. I can't physically. And like the shower, the water was kind of spraying everywhere, so you had to keep the shower curtain inside the bath, right? But that shower curtain was so disgusting and smelly. There was like even bits of blood stain on it.
Yeah, it was
like,
pretty mank.
I can't.
I was just not touching any of that stuff, not gonna lie. It was
trying to like shower.
It was a no-brainer for me, and I'm not putting any of my physical body on any of these things. But yeah, no, besides that was the apartment. And all our other friends had better apartments, nice Airbnb apartments, you know. We had a little
but you know what though? We had a pool.
Yeah, the apartment had a pool. That pool was also revolting. They were literally floating in the pool because they never cleaned it. I'll tell you right now, we were there for 9 days and not one day did they clean it. Not one day did they clean it. I would literally the same gunk I saw the first day there, it was still the same gunk I saw leaving. And I was like, that is disgusting. But people are using it still.
Yeah, people. You know, if you have enough drink in you, I suppose.
I could not touch that pool. I could not touch that pool.
What I did appreciate though is because, you know, in a lot of places, like even when we stayed in Madrid, they close the pool after a certain hour and you like can't go in there anymore.
Well, this one technically did close the pool. It's just that it wasn't.
Nobody cared.
No one cared.
Because it wasn't closed. It wasn't closed. Like in Madrid.
Well, you can't close it because it's outside. Like
no, in Madrid our outdoor one had a cover that they put on, so it was closed.
They should have put a cover on this one.
Yes. But they didn't, which I kind of appreciate that, because it's like, you know what, you want to like come back from the festival at 3-4 a.m. and take a dip in the pool, like
if it wasn't
not
dirty.
Me, but you know, whoever, I guess, just living for the vibes, or if you want to have like a pool party or whatever. It's not ruining the fun by closing at 8 p.m. or something.
Yeah, no, fucking disgusting. That place, revolting. Like, if I was going back again, I would definitely not stay in that place.
Clear.
I would stay.
Would you not warn people? Tell them what place that is.
No,
they know where not to go.
I don't want some fucking lawsuit in my hand or some shit. Like
lawsuit? I don't know, because like, isn't it the same as leaving like a review online? You know,
but
like an honest review.
Yeah, I can leave an honest public honest review, but I'm just being careful. I don't want them to come after my podcast.
Okay.
So. Like literally, but yeah, you know who you are. Disgusting. And if you know me, just message me. I'll tell you what the place is.
Do you know what? Yeah, that's the deal.
That I can do.
Message us on TAE Time Podcast.
That I can do. I can tell you what place I'm talking about. But yeah, no. But besides that, then we had the festivals, and we will now give you our reviews. But Nicola will start off. We'll start off with Afronation. We'll each give our review of what we thought of Afronation. and so on and so forth, and then we'll do Rolling Loud, and then we'll compare the two.
Okay. First of all, I think before I jump into that, I just want to give some honorable mentions to the whole ticketing system, and how it worked. So basically, like, we got our tickets on Fest Ticket, which was great to begin with, because it just, I don't know, made it easy to just have your tickets in there and not have to worry or like whatever. And then basically you got like a wristband, and you kept that on for the entire festival time, and that was your method of like paying for stuff. So you topped that up with however much money you wanted. But then they had these deals, these shady deals that were like, what was it that you paid for?
It's like you pay, so if you pre-top up, like you can top up by whatever amount at the festival, but if you pre-topped up before the festival, the minimum you could do was 100, and then at 150 you got 15 euro free, 200 you got like 30 euro or some shit, or 300 you got like 50, whatever. It like just kept going up.
Yeah, so essentially they give you like 15 euro if you top up by 100. So there's some
150.
deals. Yeah, 150. So they give you some deals. They give you some sort of added money on top of what you're topping up. But what we didn't know was...
we found out.
Yeah, what we found out, so we didn't know at the start, when we went to like collect our wristbands, and I think Farouk asked about the money on the wristband, and the guy was like, yeah, so you have to use up the entire money that you put on before you can use up the extra free credit that we give you. So we didn't know about that. And do you know what else I found out? Actually, there were some TikToks some girls put up about how there were additional fees every time you paid for stuff with your wristband.
Well, it was only, so the cup cost €1.
Yeah.
So if you don't, so essentially in the festival, they never gave you like stuff, except it was trying to disincentivize waste, So the idea was like, every time you bought a drink, the first time you got a cup, it cost €1 for each cup, right? So if you were getting 5 drinks, you get 5 cups, that's €5. And the idea was like, you would then come back with that same cup to get more drinks, so that way you don't have to pay an extra €1. But the thing is, because it was only €1, people just did not give a shit, and they were just tossing it on the beach anyway. Tossing. The only thing you got to keep was like water bottles and stuff like that, and wine bottles too, if you bought a whole bottle of wine, but you couldn't get a whole bottle of anything else. So people were just tossing on the beach. Like,
I didn't even know that you could go back with the same cup until you mentioned it. Like, I thought you just leave it like the other hundreds that were around me.
Yeah, no, you have to go back to the same cup so you save €1. But like, obviously, like, I was actually talking, me and Ivan were talking about it, like, it's so stupid for it to be €1. It should have been at least like €5 or like €10 or something, because then that would have really disincentivized people to not get rid of their cups on the floor, because like €1 is like, people are like, that's just €1, I don't give a fuck, like, so the people don't give a shit. Like, you're better off making it like €5-10. Like, I would even push it as €10, but like €5, I feel some people doing that. €10, definitely people were keeping them cups like it was their life. You know?
Be dancing with the cup the whole night, like. But they're very cute cups. Actually, I brought one home from Rolling Loud. Maybe I'll show you guys at the end. They're very, very nice cups. So they're nice to bring home, because like it's like something to bring home, like from souvenir, the festival. Yeah. So it was very cute, but like, yeah, they're just thrown everywhere, all over the place. And but those girls weren't talking about just those fees. They were saying how like when they were checking up what their money was spent on, there was like €5-10 additional to whatever they were paying for. Now I don't know if this was like exaggeration or what, but they said that there were just additional like fees to everything they wanted to
I didn't have any additional fees, because like I was sober the entire time, so like I saw like my, like every time they attach, it shows you a list of what you bought and like everything.
But to be fair, like, though, you didn't really spend money like that, like others.
Well, so maybe I spent like 100 and something, like, so. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, because I got 43 euro in return. So, and I put 150 on it. So. Okay. Yeah.
Well, maybe he did.
Yeah.
I'm sure people spend more money than that.
But. Yeah, but I don't know about those. I know about the cups anyway. But like, yeah.
It was worthwhile. Anyways, onto the actual festival. I want to start off with,
what did you think about the whole festival as a whole, how it was planned and everything, and the crowd as well?
So Afronation, like, I would say everything was such a good vibe, and that was like off the get-go. As soon as we even landed in Paris airport, I want to say, like, there was people who you knew they were going to Afronation, and they were just like dancing and being friendly. Like, some guy from Kenya came up to you, was like, are you guys going to Afronation, you know? And it was just wild, like, because I'm like, oh my god, people are coming here all the way from Africa, like,
wow, who would have guessed Afronation?
I know, right? Yeah. Mind-blowing. I don't know, I guess I was a bit surprised because, like,
I think people from Africa don't have money.
No. No, it's especially people from Nigeria, because I feel like you guys see those artists so often, like, so often that it's like, what's the point of coming all the way here when you have an Afronation like every other month or whatever?
It's a festival, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
It's a festival thing.
But no, it was such good vibes, and like even in the evenings when we went out to eat food, or the next day before the festival even started, the vibes were immaculate. Like, people were just dancing in the restaurants, on the streets. There was like Afrobeats everywhere. There was a mix of hip hop. It was such a good vibe. There wasn't any like rowdy crowds or like, you know, push and shove and like.
That'll be important for later.
Keep that in mind. It was very smooth. Everyone was very like friendly and like welcoming and everything, and it was just a really good vibe all around, honestly. And then during the festival as well, I'd say the vibe was very much kept. The artists were really good. I know I saw some criticism of them on TikTok again.
The audio was the main issue, I think, for most
like
people.
the mic.
Yeah, the mics, and like that's something I'll probably touch on as well. Like the mic, the audio was kind of fucked for some acts. Like the mics weren't really working, speakers weren't really doing what they're meant to do. Like, this was cleared out by the time Rolling Loud came over, but definitely for Afronation it was kind of screwed over the first.
Who was it that left and never came back?
I can't. Paddle Ranking.
Oh yeah.
Paddle Ranking's mic got cut off early, I think, or something like that, and he just didn't come back. But yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. Like, the mic's situation was kind of like, even for WizKid's set, his mic was going off sometimes, you know, and especially I heard people in the, like, I saw that people in the back, the speakers were at the back stopped working or whatever. So it was even harder to hear. So stuff like that did happen. And, you know. But
what I saw people say was that actually the singers weren't like singing enough. They weren't performing enough. They were like almost like,
they had that criticism of WizKid. Yeah. They said he wasn't singing enough, that he was more just lip syncing. But I don't know.
And letting the crowd do the job. And it's like, well, why are you here? Like, we're here to see you, hear you sing, because we know you can sing. So let's hear you sing.
But sometimes they want you guys to, like, you know, to kind of bring the vibes, you know. But like, obviously everyone has, I think that's very subjective. Like, some people like when the crowd, some people like when it's them like singing back to the artist, because, you know, like, they've been listening to it for so long. So people are like, I came here to hear you serenade me.
Yeah, but you can do the crowd sing, but not constantly. Like, I'm here to hear you sing.
Yeah, I guess
you sing to me. You know what I mean?
For me, I don't care, because I'm like, I hear you. Like, the way you're doing it now is the exact same way I would hear you, like, over the Spotify. So it's really not that deep. Like,
but that's the whole point. You don't want that. You want like, the raw. With
no, what I mean is, like, even if they were raw,
shakes.
like, you know, like, it's still the same thing to me. Like, you know, it's just singing a song. When the crowd is interacting is when I feel like, yeah, that's good, you know. But like, you know, those are the things that everyone's gonna take differently, I think.
Yeah, I suppose.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, like, also one thing was the age range was very, like,
of age,
young adult and older, like, kind of thing. Like, Afronation, I felt like everyone was like 20 something, like mid 20s mostly, and then like early 30s as well here.
Yeah, there were some. I'd say there were some that were even older than that, and they weren't looked down on for being there or like treated differently.
Like, it was very rare to see anyone under the age of like 21, 22, I think. Like, you could literally notice them straight away, you know. And that's like, maybe that's old people talking, but like it was so easy to notice anyone that was under the age of like 21, 22, because like they were so little of them that you're just like, yo, what the hell? I haven't seen one of those in ages. You know, so like, yeah, no, the vibes were super immaculate. You know, great ratio. If you're a guy, way more women than there were men. It felt like. So,
no, it was. That's actually true.
Yeah,
there were a lot more women at
like,
Afronation.
as a single dude, you would have fucking loved it. Like, you know, your odds of succeeding to get a mate is much easier.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's a
yeah.
beautiful women too.
Yeah.
And men, like girls, let me just say there's options for you too.
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah,
good.
yeah, there were more women, but like there were men too. Like,
Yeah.
There
There
were
was a
men.
bunch of people. Like, it was crazy
Yeah.
amount of people. Like, you know, like there was so many people. It was great. It was great. And the vibes were really good. The music was good. Everyone was on African time. Let me tell you that right now. Like, any artist that was on before like 8 o'clock, did that, because people were not arriving until like around 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Like, this thing went up until like about 1:30, even one. I think it was like 1:30, 1:45, like around 2 o'clock. Because 1:30, between 1:30 and 2 o'clock was the latest it went to one night. But yeah, no, it was good. And as like the vibes inside, like there were clubs on the strip right beside the beach, and they were packed to the brim.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it was, and there's one place called Mixed, like Cathedral, whatever you want to call it, that it is so, once you go downstairs, it is near impossible to get out to the other side. It is so hard. Like, there's so many people. But the thing is, it wasn't rowdy. It was pretty like calm, collected, enjoyable, so on and so forth.
Like you didn't struggle to get from this end to the other end.
Like, it was hard.
If you danced your way through, you'd make it. But like,
there was a lot of people.
Yeah, it was packed like sardines.
It was super packed. The strip was literally busy till like 6 a.m. every day. Like, literally people were out. Like, you'd be going, like, so we would like be going out, getting to the fest around 8, 9 o'clock, and then we would literally be getting home around like 4 or so a.m. Like, my boys were literally going out to like 8 a.m. and it would literally be 6, 7, 8 a.m. and it would still be packed.
Catching the sunrise.
You know, like, people were literally catching the sunrise, like, you know, and then they'd go home. And then we'd sleep. I was unfortunate that I'm one of those early wakers, so I still ended up waking around like 10, 11, which was suffering, but it is what it is. And then we'd go eat food, do whatever, and rinse and repeat. And it was just enjoyment. It was just enjoyment every day, honestly. It was really nice. And then we had a nice 2-day gap, you know.
And tell me more about some of the, you know, pros of Afronation, or some,
like, it was just, I felt like Afronation was
downsides.
very enjoyable. I think it was like, of the 2 festivals, I felt it was like way more vibey, you know, and way more vibey, way like more chill, everything like that. But it was nice, you know, kind of a nice kind of thing. Everyone was enjoying, everyone was, you know, having a good time. And I didn't really have much cons to the festival. I did enjoy Afronation thoroughly, to be honest. I would say the only con was like the issues with the audios, but beside that, I think it was pretty good. How about yourself?
No, I honestly agree. And I don't know if it's because after Rolling Loud happened, the contrast was so different. I had so many cons for that Afronation was so much better than initially it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, I can't even see any cons. It was just amazing. I would do it again.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that was kind of it. Just before we move on to Rolling Loud, I know you mentioned food there. Do you want to have a little segment on the food you consumed while there?
It was shit. Like, I'm sorry to say, but the food in Portland was so shit. Like most of it was really bad quality stuff, and like, it just wasn't that nice, you know? Like, I don't think I had a single like a meal that I was like, I'm satisfied and happy with what I have been given.
How about the buffet?
You know, even the buffet, I didn't really like it. Like, I liked it just because I liked eating, but like, I didn't really enjoy it. Like, it just, I don't know, even the McDonald's wasn't as good, honestly. Like, and you just gotta give it to that quality Irish beef, you know? Like, it makes a big difference, honestly. I don't know. Like, it just was not as good. Like, even like I think the best thing I had there was like a steak from like this place, like whatever, and it was calm. Even that was like, the steak was the food was just okay. Like, it was just enough to get you by. But realistically, we're only eating like once or twice a day. Like, honestly, we're eating at least once.
You said twice.
Yeah.
We were not eating.
We're eating at least once every day anyway.
Yeah.
And then, like, forget about trying to get food in the festival. The lines were ridiculously long, way too long. It just was not worth your while. You know, it's not even about price. It was just like the level of effort requires for you. You must be so hungry that you were determined to wait in those lines. Or either you got there early, but at that stage, you were. Why didn't you eat before you entered? You know, kind of.
I mean, you're paying overpriced, I guess, because I don't know the prices, but I assume
I missed out.
Overpriced.
I knew. I said it to them. I knew there was going to be jollof rice there.
Yeah.
None of them believed me. And then I found out after the festival, Jollof Rice was there.
Yeah, so I saw this girl, Afronation reposted her, and she was eating jollof rice. So I messaged her and I was like, oh, like, where did you get this? And she said she had the Golden Circle ticket. And she got it in like some VIP area, but I don't know if that was a VIP ticket that we had or a different one that she had.
No, because the Golden Circle and VIP all have the same area.
So what's the point of the Golden Circle?
It's that you can leave and enter back in from the festival, and you also get like complimentary stuff as well.
Oh, well, yeah, she had jollof rice, and I was upset that I didn't get
I
any.
wanted jollof so bad as well. Fuck, I wanted it so bad. Yeah, no, but yeah, it is what it is. You gotta take care of it. You gotta hold your L's, or you do anyway.
Yeah, you have to eat. So regardless, you know, you have to eat something. There was like I don't even know what the places are called, but it was like the place with the Madonna.
The Hollywood star or whatever.
That food was all right. Like it was pretty edible. I think we ended up going there like 3 or 4 times. The ice cream was really good from Haagen-Dazs. It would go back there. And then there was this mall, Aqua Portimao.
Shopping center.
That place had more food options,
and it was still shit.
I really like their walk
to walk.
We
have it here in Ireland as well.
It was really good. It was just the best for me. I was like, yeah, just fry it all up and give me my noodles and let me move on. So I really like that place. And they also, like, if you haven't packed the right outfits or enough outfits and you're struggling, there's a lot of shops there. You know, don't worry about it.
Pull&Bear.
They have a Primark, so don't stress. About anything.
No worries there. But yeah, I know it was grand with all that. But then we had Rolling Loud, and Rolling Loud was completely different. Like the vibes were different. Like it was way much younger people, which automatically lets you know the vibe was gonna be different. Cause like the thing about being younger is like it's like it's not the same as like when you're older, like you're going for enjoyment, but you also have sense. When you're younger, you don't have sense. So like one thing, like the best way to describe it is not once while I was in Afronation, the people throw cups of drink into the crowd or sand or whatever drink or whatever across the way. Not once did that happen. Maybe it happened and I never saw it, but not once did that ever happen. I can't even count the amount of times that happened during Rolling Loud that I was hit or that I saw it happening. So that just shows you the level of like difference in maturity, because adults aren't like, they're like, I paid for this, I'm not throwing it across the fucking
also
thing.
you like you said with sense, like you're thinking it could hurt someone.
It
could hit someone in the head. Like those cups weren't like light cups, they were like pretty heavy,
especially if it was full with stuff, you know, like you're using your brain, like you're not just doing things just to do things.
But
like,
the way they became so creative towards like, you know, day 2, 3, I didn't even notice. Like it was a lot of cups being thrown with drink, right? But then obviously clearly that's expensive, so then they started like filling it up with sand and just chucking it in the crowd. I'm like, that could actually really hurt someone. That's very heavy. And everyone was just heads full of sand, like sand on us for days.
Yeah, sand everywhere. Like, no, it was actually ridiculous. It was just way more rowdy. Like, even in the clubs afterwards, it was super rowdy. Like, people were getting lifted up and like breaking lights and stuff. Like, obviously, like if you're young, you're like, yeah, nah, that's the shit, bro. You're like, oh,
you're so cool.
You're like, that sounds lit, I want to do that. But like when you're getting older, you're like, that's just like, it's really not that deep, that's not fun, you know, like, or whatever. So like, you know, there's being rowdy and then there's being rowdy, you know. Like there's nothing wrong with being rowdy. Like, you know, you're there having a good time, for sure, be a little bit rowdy. But like when you're being like super rowdy, like at that stage, and that no one else around you can have fun, that's when it's just too much, honestly. And that's kind of like the synopsis of what Rolling Loud was, you know. Like, and like Rolling Loud was fun, don't get me, I enjoyed the acts, but it just wasn't as vibey or wavy as Afronation. It was just more of like it was just a kid's trip, honestly.
Like Longitude or
like or whatever, you know.
Well,
like,
you saw Wireless, I guess. I've seen a lot of clips. It resembled
like,
that.
Kind of like that. So like it was just like kind of like that. Like obviously if you're into that, like, you know, more power to you and everything, but like it's just I don't know, it just wasn't as vibey. And you could just tell, like you could even see it, like as I said, like in Afronation, it was hard to see a young person, but in Rolling Loud, literally, it was nothing but young people surrounded around you and stuff like that. and like that shows big difference. Like obviously, it's worth going to both if they're on that proximity, because like you get to see, unless you're like really not into hip hop, then I would tell you just stay the fuck away from Rolling Loud.
Go home.
You know, but
no, don't go home. Enjoy the vibes.
But like if you're into it, at least you get to see some Afrobeats artists and you get to see some hip hop artists you like and stuff like that. You know, and I felt like one thing I would say though is, I don't know, maybe if it's because I wasn't near the front and I was more near the back, all the crowds just seemed so dead in both. like in both festivals, like people just really weren't like giving back what the artist was giving to them, you know? And like people weren't like singing along as if they didn't really know the words. It was like very few, maybe it's just like people don't know songs as much as I think they should. But like
I've seen clips from Wireless and everyone knows the words.
Yeah, everyone knew the words to stuff, but those were only the main songs. But like the main songs here were also, people knew the words too, I felt like
50-50. Maybe just the choruses.
So like I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like I did expect a lot more energy when it came to like singing songs and stuff, but it really wasn't there. The crowd, like we made a joke on like day 2, we're gonna end up in one of those like TikToks about making fun of the crowd being dead, you know, kind of thing. And because it was just so dead, like, but yeah, no, that was my only complaint. And that was with both festivals. That happened with both festivals, you know. But at least in Rolling Loud, the only like the crowds was crazy mosh pitting for like stuff, you know, like that was their way of like showing how much you liked it. They were doing crazy mosh pits, you know. People were literally coming chirping sweat and everything, you know, coming out like of mosh pits and stuff, and it was mad. But yeah, no, but like I would say of the 2 festivals, I would say Afronation was definitely the better festival in comparison to Rolling Loud.
I don't know, like mosh pits, the way they happen at like every sentence, I'm like, just why is a necessity? And like it was funny because we stayed towards the back, like you were saying, right? And then like, you know, I was at one point with just like a couple of girls here, and then the artist that was on was like, okay, mosh pit, and we're all just looking around like, you better not here, not right now. And you know, like the guys like went that way to do their thing, but it's like, why is it so often and like so constant?
It's just getting that rage out. That's why it's like a thing. Like I don't have a problem with it, like personally, but like obviously, like I'm the type of person that's like obviously keep your mosh pitting to the front, like because those are the people who want to mosh pit with you. And like the people who are standing back just want to chill, so just leave them alone, kind of thing.
Exactly.
You know, but yeah, no, honestly. But like
also, you know what you said about the crowd not like, I don't know, giving like,
reciprocating
the music and everything. I felt like for Afronation, that wasn't really the goal. I think that people who were more away from the like front were just there to dance. Like they were just dancing and vibing and like grinding and whining, whatever. And they weren't there to like sing the music back to the artist. Yeah,
exactly. It was different. It was a different scenario, obviously. Yeah, that's why I said like I think maybe it was just maybe because of how far back we are. Like maybe if I was up front more, I would have seen a lot more of people like reciprocating to artists. But at the back anyway, they weren't doing that. So, but it is what it is, you know. But I would definitely rate Afronation higher than Rolling Loud, and I would be more inclined to go to Afronation again than I would be willing to go to Rolling Loud again. Like with the same situation,
I guess. I want to also like address the elephant in the room, because as you might be able to tell, for Afronation there was like a lot of, you know, people of color, and then overnight it just switched up. It just went to like so many like white people were there, and that's not the problem, right? There were so many white boys that were so rowdy, and like when there were so many like girls for Afronation and then like so many guys for Rolling Loud.
The ratio was way different. Like there was probably like 9 guys for every 1 girl. Like
no, it was scary. I told Farouk like sometimes I'm scared of white boys because I feel like they'll actually clock me. And they wouldn't care. They'd just walk away. Yeah, no, the crowd was very different, obviously. Like, it was very, like, it was a lot more diverse. The crowd was a lot more diverse in Afronation than it was for Rolling Loud. But, like, once again, like, it makes sense because it's more of a diverse crowd that enjoys, like, Afrobeats, like, we're talking, you know, Brazilians, African, like, you know, all these type of things. Like, people who are into reggaeton are more likely to be into Afrobeats, and people who are Afrobeats are more likely to be reggaeton. And that's mostly like a diverse crowd, obviously, in the first place anyway. So, like, I think that's just why there were just very few like white people there. I think there are more than the first Afronation. I guess more people are becoming more aware of it and like showing up or whatever. But everyone's very welcoming, so don't be like afraid.
No, exactly. And then I guess one thing is like, I recommend to do the whole thing. Yes, if you have the money to do it, because it is a long expenditure, having to spend money every single day in, day out kind of stuff. And also some tips is definitely kind of like, I think everyone gives you this tip for Coachella, everywhere, every single place. Choose a common meeting point with your friends, because you have like no signal in that place. Like there's signal there, but there's just so many people that it's so hard for anything to ever get through. So like it's like, because you will lose your friends very easily, very, very easily, if you're not keenly aware of keeping them around you all the time. And so if just in case you do, it's like, hey, if we ever miss each other for X amount of time, just we meet up at this specific spot. And that saved us so many times when it came to like someone having to go to the bathroom and we were staying there, or someone having to do this and we were here. And so there's like, hey, let's go meet up at this same spot, like, over and over.
But it made it perfect as well if we were like a group and then we all kind of walked there, and then someone to the bathroom, someone to the bar, someone to whatever, and then just met back at the same spot. So even having that spot, even if you're not lost, is good idea. Just to kind of prevent losing each other.
Obviously. And since it's also on the beach, it's great because you have nothing covering the sun, so you get all your golden hour photos if you show up early enough, all that stuff, and their activities. So like I absolutely would recommend for someone to do it, like if you haven't done it before, like 2 festivals in one go like that. It's literally just a party holiday. Go there with the mentality that I'm literally going for 9 days to party, and you will have a good time.
It's very tiring, so I'd say like midway through you might use the days in between to rest and recharge. You can still go out, but maybe just sleep in a bit more. Like we found like we were quite tired, and then the naps during the day that we ended up taking, because your body just kind of starts to shut down.
And the biggest tip, don't take an early morning flight the next day after the festival. You can go after the day after, but just, I know like it might be more expensive, just don't take it, because oh my god, it is not worth it. You will just, because especially after being tired for 9 days, you have to stay up the last night, it's just so long. Just take a flight later on in the evening or the subsequent day. Like I would just say, like take a flight in the evening, because then you can sleep, do whatever, go to the airport casually. But obviously if there's no even flight, just wait, then just stay an extra night, but unless you have stuff to do.
Yeah, exactly. But just so you are aware, Portimao taxis are a little bit shady, because they have all these like Uber,
Bolt, Free Now.
They have the apps.
But at night, what's it called? They all just don't use it, so they can charge you cash like €20 for like a small trip. Just they all like agreed essentially, So that's the one thing that's kind of annoying. Like you have to. So it's like obviously like this just goes for everything. Like if you're going for anything in a different place, always just try to get a place close to where you're going, because let's be honest, that's where you're going to spend most of your time. So that makes your life easier if it's like a 5-10 minute walk. Like we're lucky ours was like a 15 or so minute walk.
It wasn't that far. We were pretty close to the
like,
festival.
Yeah, when we couldn't get taxis or anything or whatever. And Bolt was like super cheap, but like literally after the first day you couldn't use Bolt. Every time it was like, Bolt is busy. Like they just weren't using Bolt. This was at the end of
the night, so at the end of the
during
festival.
the day as well. During the day you couldn't get Bolts. We could only get Ubers because Bolt is so cheap. Like a Bolt trip was like €3, but a Uber trip minimum was €6. So all of them weren't using Bolt because they're like, why the fuck would I get half the price when I can get double?
So all these drivers are allowed to use all 3 platforms?
Yeah,
and accept off whichever they want.
Yeah, that's what they all did. They switched whatever. So none of them use Bolt. So like at the start, you can probably use Bolt when you're like trying to get from the airport to whatever, but forget about it when you get there, because they rather get more money obviously from like Uber or Free Now. So like just be wary of that.
Yeah, I guess that's what made it so difficult for us. We were trying to go to the airport right after the festival when it's like peak time for everyone trying to get like an Uber or a taxi, whatever, to wherever destination. but we needed to be at the airport, so this was really important, like for us to get something, and we just got lucky that some random guy
that does like Uber, but he just charged us €100 cash to get to the airport. But the three of us, so we just split it 3 ways, whatever, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, like it's pretty long, honestly. Like the whole situation is very long.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought that we were going to die.
Oh yeah, because he was waved, but he was a good driver for being waved, not gonna lie.
No, because he was waved. So first of all, he was drunk driving. That is not a casual thing that you just say like that.
He was waved.
Listen, no, this guy, first of all, the way it just so happened that he was just there. He's like, yeah, I'll take you. Okay, like fine, we'll get in. And then, he was driving a little funny, a little moving to the left and right. He's waved. We established that. We tried to move on. But then he starts taking these like off the highway roads, which, yes, obviously no toll routes make sense, but
that was stressing still.
This was the end of the festival. I myself was still a little bit waved, and this guy's driving on like side roads, and it's all looking a bit shady, and I'm like, this is it, like 15 guys.
He wasn't taking 3 of us on anyway.
Yeah, but the 15 guys who would have jumped at the car would have taken us on and just stolen all our stuff.
Yeah, I didn't really have much stuff anyway. So
I sobered up very quickly. I will say I sobered up very quickly. My heart was racing the entire time, and it was quite a drive.
It was like 50 minutes or so.
Yeah, 50. And we got at the airport somehow, some way. I don't know how he even trusted us to pay him. Like, that was, like, technically he could have thought that we could have done more damage to him than, him to us. But it worked out. It just worked out.
It did. But
it was very scary.
Would recommend. Would do again. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. I'm funny like that. I might never do it again, to be honest, but we'll see what the story is.
All right. So, who was your favorite act of Afronation?
Burna Boy, because he was the most clear. Like, I would have said Wizkid if it wasn't for the fact that his mic kept cutting off.
Okay.
So Burna Boy is definitely my favorite act of the Afronation. How about you?
Oh, definitely Davido there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I was a little bit upset that we didn't get to see, 2 major acts. They just never ended up showing.
Oh yeah, Naira O'Malley didn't get to. He played a little bit in Wiz's set, but he didn't actually play a full set.
And somebody else, and Coffee as well was meant to perform, and then she didn't. And there was somebody else. It was a little bit upsetting that some of the bigger acts that we wanted to see we didn't know anything about them. It just didn't show up. But I would say as well, I think Burna Boy, he was the most clear, so we were able to like hear proper. He's a very good performer as well, and the crowd was engaging quite well. So yeah, that for me as well.
And then how about Rolling Loud?
For Rolling Loud, I would say A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky is my favorite as well.
He was really good.
Rocky was very good. I enjoyed his set. I enjoyed everything about it, honestly. He was A1 top tier performer. Yeah,
he was really good, and knowing that Rihanna was in the crowd was pretty nice as well. But I would say there was like a close second for me, and that was Sway Lee. He just did really good. He entertained the crowd really well by himself.
Well, to be honest, Ray Sherman are always very good at like working with their crowd. They're very good.
Yeah,
I would recommend, like, if you had a choice to see them, I would absolutely definitely pick them. Yeah,
because he was clashing with another big enough artist, and we chose to go to
Sleepy Hollow was meant to be there, but he couldn't go there, so
that was the biggest heartbreak. I was really looking forward to seeing him as well.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll catch him some other time.
Maybe. But let me show you guys my cup. I stuck to my promise. Okay, I'm showing you guys my cup, all the way from Portugal. See how pretty it is. It's plastic, so these are some pretty heavy stuff, expensive. I guess they could have charged €5 for this, but it's very cute. It's very nice. I had an Afronation one, but I lost it, so that's my souvenir. Till next time.
Peace.